Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So a few people asked me they'd like to see my car collection, and here it is. So these are all the cars that I've accumulated in 2023, and there is 10 in total. So all except one of them are bashers, and the majority of them are 8th scale or 7th scale. So in this video guys, we're going to be looking at, I'm going to go through each one of these cars one by one and just give them a fun rating as a basher and in my experience. So I'm going to rate it in 5 categories: durability, looks, electronics, fun factor, and value for money. So in the end, they're going to have an overall score out of 25. So guys, these are also cars that I picked after watching loads of other people's reviews. I did a lot of thinking before I bought them because I don't have an endless supply of money. I'm lucky to have these 10 cars, and I appreciate that. But yeah, definitely not a bottomless pit. So I did do a lot of thinking before and watching other people's reviews before I bought any of these cars. All right, so with that in mind, let's crack on with the ratings. So guys, we're going to do this in the order that I bought the cars. So the first car that I bought was the Sledge. The first ever car that I bought was a Traxxas, and that was after watching reviews, doing some weighing up, thinking about the Kraton, thinking about the Sledge. So yeah, in terms of, and this, remember guys, this is in my experience, so very subjective, and please do give your ratings if you feel they differ from mine. So in terms of durability, I've given the Sledge a 3. Why have I given the Sledge a 3? For starters, the hinge pins on this, just a disaster. If you don't upgrade the hinge pins to hardened steel, they will break on almost every jump. So that was a real pain in the backside. The second thing was durability in terms of its motor mounting system. That causes problems, and for me, all of the electronics in the Sledge have broken. Everything. Receiver, motor bearings when motor is destroyed, triple light on the ESC, and unadjustable. So a real pain in the backside. Hinge pins, losing the rear drive shafts, just a lot of bugs. The rear wing mount gets destroyed, and then you choose an aftermarket wing mount. Really is not, there's no ideal solution for it. The tires are poor. They're great for air control, but the tires themselves are poor in terms of their durability. That's a copperhead on the front. This is the sledgehammers that I got with it. You can see how disintegrated the foams are. So really, in terms of durability, it's a bit of a disaster. So durability 3. Looks, I think it looks super cool. Give it a 4. I could maybe say 5, but I'm going to give it a 4. Electronics, in my experience, terrible, unadjustable. The cat's walking past. Terrible, unadjustable. The controller feels nice. The motor is good. The ESC is good, but in terms of reliability, really a letdown. Having said that, I've had so much fun with this truck. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 for fun factor because it is super fun. Value for money, I'm going to give it, I've written down 4, but now I'm talking about it, I'm going to give it a 3 because I think you've got to invest a lot of money into this to get it to the truck you want it to be. So the Sledge, durability 3, looks 4, electronics 3, fun factor 5, value for money 3. Right guys, so the second car I thought I'd get a Sledge, get a truggy that can do everything, and then the second car I got was the Felony. So what can I say about the Felony? What an amazing car, and I've got nothing to compare it to. However, same thing again, I was watching all the reviews, and basically the Felony is the one car that I've never touched any of the differentials, never touched anything inside it, didn't have to upgrade anything, and it is just a beast. So durability wise, I'm giving it a 5 because it's never had a repair, apart from I've just bought a new front splitter for it after I crashed it. So Felony, this is a pretty easy one. Durability 5 because nothing for me has ever broken. Looks 5, it is a sick looking RC car. Electronics, so I'm kind of going with a 4 on the Spectrum systems because From what I've experienced, the controllers, decent. The springs and the triggers feel nice. They feel nice to control. The active stability control works well. The motors, yeah, okay, they're not hugely powerful, but they definitely seem to be adequate for the purpose. So, yeah. Electronics, it gets a 4. Fun factor, I've given it a 4 and not a 5 for one reason, in that you are limited in where you can run it. Because it's a fast car and you've got to be careful, and it won't run off road obviously. So applications are limited, but it is a street basher. So I'm giving it a 4. Value for money, same thing. It's an expensive car, giving it a 4. Because I've never had to put anything into it. It just goes. I've blown an ESC on this through my own ignorance or stupidity. But other than that, it really is a really super tough, super strong platform and just awesome. Even where I'm running it here in the desert, I don't go through tyres that much because there's so little traction, so much sand on the roads that the tyres don't even get burned up on it. So what an awesome truck. So guys, from the Felony then we're going on to the MX-07. MX-07, durability wise, super durable apart from the body. So the body is cheap, but the actual car and the construction of the car and how it's over-engineered, massively awesome job by ZD Racing. So I'm giving it a 4 in terms of durability. Looks is always going to be subjective. I like the look of this truck. I think it looks cool. I've given it a 4. Then in terms of the electronics for an MX-07, the controller needs upgrading really. It's a Dumbo clone. It doesn't feel great. However, depending on what option you pick, you can get a roller, you can get the 6S with a Rocket ESC, but I got the 8S, which has a old Max 6 in it, and it's super powerful. Motor is good, really good power system inside it, so I've given it a 4. Fun factor, it's got to be a 5, and value for money, I think really this is the highest scoring car I've got. For value for money, I've given it a 5. I got it from AliExpress. I waited for a sale to come on. I hunted around for the cheapest version of it. And yeah, massively impressed with this car. Also, you know, comes with a light kit. Super tough, super nice tyres. The tyres on this are amazing. Better than any other tyre on any other car I've had. Okay, so from MX-7 onto the FS Racing Atom, which is also called a Really Rocket or a Really Raptor, or it's called a DR8, depends what part of the world you buy this from. So for the Atom, I've given it for durability a 5. Another super tough little buggy, really nice little scale buggy. For looks, nice scale details. I think it looks great, this truck, so I've given it a 4. In terms of its electronics, it comes with a 150 amp Hobbywing ESC and I think a rebranded rocket motor, so this thing flies. Controller is rubbish, but the actual motor electronics are awesome, so I've given it a 4. Fun factor, I've scored it low. I've scored it a 3, and I'm comparing it to the other cars only because it's limited in its application. So you can't you can jump it, but you can't backflip it, you can't stunt it. So it stays pretty much, it can jump, but you can't do any stunts with it. It is a little rocket. Lots of people speedrun these cars because they're so fast. Yeah, so it is a lot of fun, but I've given it a 3. I think in reality a 3.5, but that's not how my scoring system is working. So now we're on to the Fireteam. So durability wise, this is, it's tough. It is tough. The body shell is tough. Lots of people snap these body shells up. You will do if you run it on the concrete. Mine survived pretty well, but the chassis is weak. The chassis is definitely weak. So the chassis being cheap, it should have just come as an EXB. So this one, I'm giving it for durability 3. Why? because it's so heavy, the drivetrain struggles. So durability wise, this is a tough truck, the Fireteam, so I think I'm going to give it, I'm struggling. I want to give it a 3. The handbrake on it is pointless. It gets in the way. It's an unnecessary extra element to the car. Looks wise, I've given it a 5. So yeah, I think the looks on this, it looks way better in person than it does on camera. So when I took this out of the box, I was like, wow, this looks amazing. Fireteam electronics, I've given it a 4. I'm giving all of the Spectrum cars a 4 because they're better than anything else that I've had, and I prefer them to the Traxxas in my experience. And then fun factor, also this car, I've given it a 4. It is really good fun, but you can't really backflip it again out of the box. This one has basically is a Mojave underneath, and now it backflips easy, but I did have to upgrade a lot of things to get it to be a backflipper. And also with the weight of it in mind, it's hard on differentials. So I've just gone through my second differential on this. First differential was when it was normal, and second differential is as an EXB, and after I put a max 6 in it. So yes, I've turned up the power, and it's also very hard on the rear diff. So in terms of value for money, it depends when you bought it, right? Because if you bought it in sale, it's good value for money. For me, I've given it a relatively low score, and I've given it a 4. But I say if you get it in sale, sorry, I've given it a low score and I've given it a 3. But if you get it in sale, then the value for money is going to rise. So now, guys, on to the Kraton. Well, well, well. What an amazing truck. Durability, I've given it a 4. It comes out of the box with issues, as with most cars do. However, those issues with the front rod ends, with the front drive shafts, I should say. So with the front drive shafts popping out, removing the shims from the end of the arms, that cured that problem. Otherwise, super tough, super durable, amazing for stunts out of the box. I bought the roller, I got it in the sale, I threw in my own electronics. So yeah, what a top truck. So if you're thinking about a first truck and you're thinking Sledge or Kraton, and bear in mind you can get the new Kraton RTR now, you've got to go for the Kraton. Definitely, 100%. It's just going to be easier to upgrade, it's going to be more durable out of the box, and with that I think you're just going to have more fun with it overall. So durability wise, I've given it a 4. Looks wise, I've given it a 4. Electronics wise, it's a roller with, let's say, Spectrum, I'm giving it a 4 compared to other RTRs. Fun factor, it's got to be a 5. And value for money, I got mine super cheap, but depending on what you pay for, if you're buying the new RTR, giving it a 4. These trucks are expensive, so it's all relative. Value for money wise, yeah, let's say 4. So guys, now onto the Mojave, and it's the only car that I have 2 of. So the first one I bought just because I didn't have a short course truck. I'm so blown away by this thing. Just super tough. It's not faster than any of the other cars, but it feels faster because the way it punches through the air. Just what a beast. Yeah, you can't backflip it. You can certainly send it, and it's super tough. Tons of fun. A little bit more of a scale driving experience because it will traction roll quite easily. But yeah, what a top truck. Durability, 5. Looks, 4, subjective. Electronics, this is a roller, but I'm giving it a 4 based on putting a Spectrum system in it. Fun factor, gotta give it a 4. You could say 5, it really depends what you want to do with it. And then value for money, I've given it a 4, and I think the 4S truck as well, good value for money. Haven't got one, but I can go and buy one here in Dubai and it's relatively cheap. So the 4S truck, what a great option that looks like as well. So then we've got, guys, the final truck. Well, not the final truck. Then we've got the Kraton 8S, and excuse the tyres on this. I have got the stock tyres lying around. But what I can say about this is, what a disappointment it is out of the box. In terms of the way it looks, the size of the thing, like it's amazing, but the electronics are so underpowered in this thing that after driving all of these other trucks, 6S and all these fast and relatively agile trucks, this thing was just underwhelming. Even when I turned the punch up, I was just like, no. So that has connotations in terms of what you need to do to it to make it good. Also, I had a lot of breakages on this truck. Jumping it lightly and you get in so many, I've had so many bent drive shafts. I've had the rear turnbuckles collapsing. What else have I had? Just if you land this slightly wrong, something's gonna break, most likely. So with that in mind, durability wise, I've given it a 3. This is a BLX though, not an EXB, so this is in my experience. Looks wise, I've given it a 4. Electronics, I've been harsh, I've given it a 2. Electronics, really bad. And that links into then value for money, because you've got to upgrade the ESC and whack a Max 5 in it, and then you've got to upgrade the motor. This is a Leopard motor, that was a $200 motor. If you've got to do that to make it fun, then there's no value for money there. And that's what I did to mine, and now it's wicked fun and it's wicked fast, and it's 12S. It will run on 12S, but not good out of the box. So it's got a 3 for durability, it's got a 4 for looks, it's got a 2 for electronics, it's got a 4 for fun factor, because I tell you what, right, there is nothing like firing a 5th scale RC truck through the air. Like, to be in control of that mass and seeing it fly is amazing. But when you then come to value for money, I've given it a 3 because the electronics suck and I had to replace them all to make it fun. Now, so fun factor, 6 out of 5. But as it came, I have to give it a fun factor of 4 because of the underpowered electronics. So guys, the final car is my little Losi. My little Losi is the last car that I bought, and I bought it from a kit. I've made it myself, and super impressed with this kit. But this is not a basher, right? This is a race car. However, I am gonna bash it. But 170 bucks this cost me, and I've just thrown in some electronics that were lying around. From my little first run that I had as a basher, it's amazing. The motor is heavy that I have now, so it's the first car that I've ordered a smaller motor for it to increase the fun factor. Let's see if that works. That'll be a future video. Am I going to give this one a rating? It's not really fair because 1, it's not a basher, 2, I've run it once, 3, doesn't have any electronics that come with it. Yeah, so I'm not going to give this one a rating. But yeah, that's my 10th car. So 10 cars, guys. 9 different models. What have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 Arrma cars, 1 Traxxas car, 1 FS racing car, 1 ZD racing car, and 1 Losi. And that is my collection from 2023. So yeah, let's take a look at the ratings and see which one came out top. So guys, the winner in terms of ratings is the Felony. Now, that does not mean to say that this is the car that I would recommend that you buy as your first car. The first car that I would recommend out of all the ones I've got would have to be the Kraton EXB. So if you're going to get a first car, you want to go high end, go for the Kraton EXB. In terms of my ratings, that's my experience. So yeah, that's why these are all good cars and the scores are relatively close. But for me, it's got to be Kraton first. Then if you want a street basher, you got to go for the Felony. It's badass. And if you don't want to lay out on an X-Max, go for an MX-07 as your monster truck. That's what I would recommend. And Mojave EXB, if you ain't got a short course truck and you want a basher, it's got to be the Mojave. You're not going to get the scale looks of a Traxxas URD, but take, in terms of what a beating it will take, it's got to be a Mojave. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like, do share it with your friends. Thanks so much, and drop a comment below on what you think or what your favorite cars of 2023 are. Thanks a lot.